I don't know.
And we're going.
We're here.
We're here. We're going.
Not even gonna do the intro, huh?
Welcome to the Tar and Feather Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mustached Vet and Ganglion Cortex.
Let that
It's out of
go.
place now. Oh, it's been so long now.
Let's go. I know, man. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Took a little trip to California. You did?
Yes. Under had to help my cousin. My uncle passed away,
Right.
so it wasn't a fun trip, but we did actually get to the beach. Went 2 days, so
That's
the
awesome.
kids got in the water the day we left. Made a little detour in Orange County.
How was the Pacific?
The ocean was great. Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was a pretty good day. But yeah, pretty sad because my uncle had passed away, so we had to go out there and help the cousin go through some stuff.
Right.
So, do you want to
Well,
honor Mr. Robert Barker with, he was an awesome guy. He lived next door to me for a couple of years growing up, and that was extra awesome. Everyone on the street really liked Bobby. Yeah.
It's always
pretty fun
good
guy.
being close to family. It really is.
Definitely. And he was also a veteran.
Yeah.
U.S. Air Force Chief Master
Woo-woo.
Sergeant.
Let's
I
go.
checked out. I did do some snooping on his DD-214. He had 39 years and 5 months. So he
39
went the whole
years?
way. Yes. And he said, once you hit 30, you have to have the commanding general of the post you're at give you a waiver to go after 30. So they really liked him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
He's a hardworking dude.
Yeah, he, I guess, really
Loyalty.
knew his stuff. So he worked
That's
on
awesome.
C-130s mainly, wiring. And so I was going through some stuff, and I found a letter to myself, well, to my parents from myself, in basic training. And this is really great, because this is January 19th, and I got there January 10th. So within 9 days,
Right.
according to this letter, I had already decided that I would, quote, mostly looking ahead to take that marksmanship award. Pretty
And you
funny,
did.
because I didn't even know I wrote this in this letter, and then
Yeah.
I did get the marksmanship award, which
Yeah, you
my
crushed
uncle
it.
was able to come to our graduation and watch, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was cool.
And there was something else in here too. This is pretty funny, I thought.
Yeah.
It says, I said, it's easy. They tell you what to wear, wake up, eat. You don't need to think.
You really don't. You just got to wake up. The hard part was waking up. The hard part was waking up and staying awake.
And it also says my mile time was 7 minutes and 21 seconds. So we know what we need to get back to.
That's not too shabby for the first run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I remember, the first 2 miles that we ran that was AIT. I had to go to the bathroom on the last mile, and so I made good time.
Even with the detour?
Yeah. There was a bathroom that was only 50 yards away. I decided to run another mile to the barracks.
I like the track at Fort Polk, that big one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
You didn't have to do a whole bunch of laps.
Running around running around the airfield?
They had a big track or something.
In
the ceremony field.
Oh, yeah.
And so, towards halfway at the last lap, I would just start sprinting.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I try to make
once you start going through the woods, because they had the woods, they had some trees on the inside part of the track, and woods, of course, on the outside. And then as soon as you hit those woods, you knew you had
you're almost there.
A third of a lap to go, right?
Yeah.
And
I think that was a mile track.
Yeah.
It was something crazy like that.
I think it was a mile too, because I just remember running 2 laps.
Yeah.
So it must have been pretty big.
Oh yeah, you said you were gonna start running. You've been doing running?
I have not yet. I did buy shoes.
Neither have
I
I.
did buy some new shoes. I
Oh, okay.
haven't gotten back into running. Now, I messed up I feel like I strained my Achilles pretty good about 3 weeks ago. So it's been a little bit, it's just been tight if I sit down for a little bit and then I get to, but once I get moving, I'm fine. But it gets tight.
That's a bummer.
So yeah, I was trying to do some cardio in between sets of squats or whatever, and I was running in place, and
Hmm.
I was doing it in my Converses, and there's not much support on those.
Yeah.
So I felt like I just strained the Achilles a little bit.
Take
It
a
was a
little
little
time.
rough. A
Yeah.
little rough. I was trying to do it with kettlebell swings and running in place. I was just trying to keep my heart rate up. That's
Yeah,
all I was
for
trying to
sure.
do. Yeah, it
Dang.
backfired.
That usually how it happens, huh? Something
Fo-
innocuous.
40 is getting close, and I'm feeling every year that I've been on this earth.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm in pretty good shape, but sometimes it just feels like
It all catches up.
you're either the hammer or the nail, and most of the times right now I'm the nail. I feel like as soon as I gain momentum, boom, knock back down. But
Well,
that's when
that's life,
that's
right?
that's when you got to persevere.
That'll
When you
test
got to
your
persevere.
strength to move on.
Yeah. So, but I didn't want to cut you off short with your uncle. Felt like I did.
I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah, 39
Yeah.
years is huge, man. That's almost two retirements.
Oh, you froze up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's two
Yeah,
retirements.
and so actually, I do need to give a mention to our devil dogs out there. He was a Marine originally. That's how he entered the
Oh,
military.
wow. Nice.
And so he did. I don't know how long because I didn't find anything. I wasn't able to ask him, but I'm sure it was probably like 2 or 4 years. He was a lance
Right.
corporal before he left and went to the Air Force
Right.
or something like
that's
that. I think.
pretty cool. Did he
Yeah.
go overseas? Did he go overseas?
Yeah, and that's another thing that I really wanted to ask him. Like how many hours of flight time and stuff did you have? Because he's gone to South America for firefighting suppression efforts down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's gone to a couple other places. Um, just one time he came back from somewhere and he was all like, if I had told you, I'd have to kill you. And he laughed so loud and he never said anything. So
It was like
there was
that
nothing
deep
at his
belly.
house. So
Was it
he
that
took it all
deep
to the
belly?
grave.
That deep belly chuckle?
Oh yeah. Because he's a smoker and yeah, he had that deep, yeah, he had a deep laugh. Yeah.
Deep laugh. If I had
Yeah.
to tell you, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah. I know one time he went to like Siberia because I remember him taking all this cold weather gear and he still got sick just from how cold it was.
Yeah.
He was in Iraq in 2003, doing some stuff there. Not like a long time, like you or I. It was like a couple months or so. I don't know how long it was, but
Well,
that
it's
was
the Air
pretty early
Force.
on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, depending on the
yeah.
time that you went, really, I think normally the Air Force does 6-month stints.
Right. And he was actually active guard, California Air National Guard. So he was at the same duty station pretty much the whole time. He
And where was that?
Point Magoo, out in Ventura,
Where's that?
California, right on the water.
California. Oh, wow,
So yeah,
nice.
Air Force guy,
Almost
right on
like
the water. It's perfect.
it's almost Maverick style.
It's basically the same place.
Yeah. I
It's
forget
just further up the
which.
coast.
Right.
And so his original assignment before there was in Burbank, California, and it was called the Hollywood Guard because they were so
Hollywood
close to
Guard.
Hollywood.
Right.
And then
Pretty
during
neat.
the realignment, at some point they closed that and then they consolidated and then kept doing it.
Bumped him.
Oh, yeah.
Bumped him down. Down or up from is Ventura higher or lower than Burbank?
It's northwest,
Hollywood?
so yeah. closer to his house. It's probably way
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
Get out
yeah.
of LA.
Less traffic.
A lot less. That was the insane part. Driving
Yeah.
California and taking minute trips that are now 45 minutes, 50 minutes. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. Isn't it wild driving 20 miles for an hour?
And I don't know. Californians don't speed like Arizonans. The whole freeway was stuck at 64, so I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the autonomous cars, they're messing things up. The
Is it?
autopilot. Yeah.
It's the autopilots.
I saw this.
I have the automatic cruise control
Oh, that's nice.
on my work truck.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
so
sweet.
I'll, if it's 65, I'll do 65, and if they're doing 63, I cruise at 63, and it's like a 3-second distance that it keeps.
knows.
But it knows when they're braking, and it
Yeah.
starts slowing my truck down before I even realize it or whatever, and it automatically does it. I mean, my foot's hovering over the brake, right? But
Yeah.
still, it starts putting on the exhaust brake on the truck, on the diesel. So it puts on the exhaust brake, it slows it down a couple miles per hour. And then even if the traffic slows down, like if you're going 65 and it slows down to 40, it'll hold at 40 and keep going. And then if you change lanes, and then you change lanes, it'll start creeping back up. Now it doesn't hit on the throttle. It takes some time.
Yeah.
To get back up to speed, but it's nice and smooth, and it's super nice.
How has the truck been?
Ooh, the truck is awesome. I have it super organized. It's just I can open up all the bays, the toolboxes are there, everything is in its place. I know exactly where it's at. It's just it takes all of that stress away.
That's what I noticed too when I got my van.
Yeah.
Like finally, it was, even though I had done inventory and I pulled a whole bunch, like basically everything off, put it back on. I don't know if it was different. It was different when you have a brand new van.
Yep.
And
yeah,
my life definitely got more efficient, right? Like
yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that's working out.
Then you can actually start concentrating on your job rather than
parts and tools.
Concentrating on the mess. And trying to figure out where everything is.
And I noticed it's not even your mess, right? It's the person who owned it before or drove it before you. They messed it up, Like, what are they doing in some of these vans?
Yeah, they took out cabinets because they had a certain thing in there that was very specific to them.
Right.
I don't have an example, but and then they just have everything on one side that I didn't want on one side. Like I have my PM side. Like if I want my oil pump on one side and all of my oil catch pans on one side, I have all of that organized. All of my oil filter wrenches in the toolbox in one drawer. All my picks for hoses to remove hoses. It's nice. It's nice, to say the least. I feel appreciated.
That's good.
At my job, I feel appreciated. I feel like they went above and beyond to get me this brand new truck, a 2024 Dodge Ram 3500. I love it.
I'm glad to hear that.
It drives so smooth.
It makes a huge difference.
I don't have to worry about it. It's not difficult to drive. It just turns so smooth. It's a whole new vehicle.
That's true. I love hearing it. I'm glad it's working out.
All of the new technology in it. It's clean. I'm just trying to keep it from getting scraped up because it has that nice decal on it.
I know. I backed into a tree. My back door got punched, so I had to punch it back out, and I was so disappointed.
No. It happens. I was backing out of a customer's driveway, and my hitch, because I had the the ball hitch on it,
Mhm.
and it has 3 different sizes on it. Well, the bottom ball dragged on the city road.
Yeah, the right away, the
And yeah,
approach.
it dug into the city road a little bit. So yeah, it is what it is.
It
At
happens.
least it was just the hitch. So I
Mhm.
heard it and I went, ugh. Was not happy about it. So California.
Yeah, hopefully I can go back. Be a little
Under
more.
better
Be a little more. Yeah, vacation
circumstances.
like with the cousin and stuff. So
Yeah. When was the
yeah.
last time you went there? Besides
Well,
to
so
go
the
there
last
for
time
your
I went
uncle?
out there, I didn't even get to see my uncle or my cousin. So like the last time I've seen them was quite a while ago. I think. I
Yeah.
really have to think about it. I did go back. I guess last October. Last September maybe. Go
Yeah.
see grandma. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
grandma's still doing okay.
Good.
She's yeah.
I'm sure she's dealing. She's dealing with it.
Pretty good drive too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't really like going though because everything's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Although the food is kind of reasonable if you go to the grocery store and you buy it from the grocery store, which I
Is
find
it like
interesting.
the same price?
It's a little less.
It's a little less.
It's less,
But
and I think it's because of volume, so they can lower the prices, and that's how they're getting by in that state. That's my opinion. That they've artificially lowered the prices of food in California just due to
mm-hmm.
volume, and they can get away with it. And I don't know, but
So
I
what are
don't
you
know
saying
how.
that like there's less volume? Like let's say like a bag of chips. Like there's less chips, but it's the
No, they're
same
just
price.
selling more amounts so they can have a lower price.
Oh. Well, supply and demand.
Right. And so because
Just
everything
how it
else
goes.
costs a lot there, right? What did it say? I just saw a thing and it said in order to afford a house in California, you need to be making $200,000 a year. So
It's wild.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Gas is
the
469.
median what is the median?
It probably like 48,000 or something.
So the census says it's loading.
Oh my goodness.
Real median household income is 74,000. So you would need to multiply that by 2.5 in order to afford a house in California. So
Yeah.
essentially, you have to be rich due to California
Yeah, I don't
standard.
know how the housing market's still staying afloat. It must be foreign buyers. Cuz ain't no one here can afford it.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, in Arizona, you're getting a lot of people from Cali that are wanting cheaper houses, so they're moving to Arizona.
I just know I'm making more money now than I ever have in my life, and I would not be able to buy or afford this house under the current
Yeah,
conditions had I not
right,
bought it in 2017 or whatever.
right.
It just
And you're
wouldn't
not
be
work,
possible.
and you're not working at Burger King,
And I'm
so
definitely not working at Burger King. So, yeah, no.
not that there's anything against people working at Burger King. You just
I
don't make a lot
I
of money at Burger
so
King.
technically I do work at Burger King
You
sometimes.
do. You do sometimes go to Burger King.
And the Burger King employees are some of
To
the best. So,
I bet.
they're all right.
I bet they're pretty down to earth.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Most of the people that I interact with at a work basis, they're all pretty chill.
Nice.
They're all just like you and I, just trying to get something better.
I mean, that's the whole thing, right? It seems like every time there's some relief when everything's going on. Like if there's some relief in life, it seems like boom, that's when it hits.
It's a test, I think.
That's when the fall hits. That's when the recessions hit. That's when the housing market falls. That's when everything decides to collapse on itself. is when you finally are able to get your head above water.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
But the sun will always rise tomorrow.
Yeah.
And actually, Proverbs says right here, do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth.
Yes.
So
You
we got to
don't
be worried
know.
about now and today. Tomorrow's
Well,
not guaranteed.
yeah. You can't take it for granted. You got to be thankful. You got to be thankful that you have today. You don't want to rush today. You don't, you always have these people. You always have people looking forward to the weekend, right? But what about the week? What about Wednesday? What about Tuesday? Find something fun to do on Tuesday. Find something fun to do on Wednesday, Thursday. Have a hobby. Go out and play some slow pitch softball. Go out, join a bowling league. Or take the
Yes,
kids out to
I've
a
been telling my
dirt
friend
bike
to do
track.
disc golf. He's up in
Disc
Flagstaff
golf.
right now. That's like the capital of it, I'm sure.
I bet those crystal hippies up there sure do. That's Sedona, but
It's basically the same
those
area. Sedona and Flagstaff are like
eh,
50 minutes apart.
those hippies up there definitely love them some hoppy beers and some disc golf.
Yeah, I have a disc golf bag. Brooke's dad hooked it up. He actually
What?
has a disc golf course in his backyard now. A 9-hole
Wait a minute.
course.
Wait a minute. For all the viewers that are gonna watch, listen, subscribe. I don't know this about Corey. I didn't know
okay.
that he was a disc golf frisbee connoisseur.
I am not, but when I was younger, Ryan Ball and I, we used to throw the frisbee far and stuff. Yeah, it was cool. And then some people would be like,
Nice.
that's so lame and stuff. And we realized these people just couldn't throw a frisbee, so that's why they made fun of it, right?
They're lame.
Yeah. And then Brooke's dad got me the case and the disc bag because he has a course in his backyard now. He's got a whole bunch of baskets and set up on the
How big is his
ranch there.
backyard?
2.3 acres.
Woo! What has he got?
And it's like hilly and there's elevation, so it's perfect for it.
Stop it. So he's got like 5 or 6 holes.
I think. Well, I'll have to double check with him, but I think it's more than that. But yeah, it could be
It's
6.
a
And then
9-hole course.
he also has it set to where you can go both ways on him, so it's double. You know.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he's been
been
plotting it.
You can do a full round. He's got the cages and everything.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a photo when we go up there.
Sick. That's sick. Well, next time I come and visit, guess where we're going?
Oh,
we're all making a trip to Brooke's parents'
to Grandma's house. Let's go.
We're doing it. We're doing it. I'm gonna get to say hi to the Millers.
Yeah, and they would love to see you again.
Oh, I love them. They are great people. They're so happy, so energetic. I love them.
They like you
Greatest
too.
people. Greatest people. I know. I'm pretty awesome.
You're pretty likable.
Yeah, I think so. I think the viewers think so too. Down in the comments, vote me number 1.
Share your love for Scottney.
Scottney. That's a new nickname. I've never heard it before. This is the first time on Tar and Feather Podcast.
Really?
I've never heard Scottney
I must say
before.
that to myself a lot, maybe.
You probably do. Scottney. That's kind of like Scott and my last name.
It is.
Hey, don't dox me. I doxed myself on the last show with Zach.
Sir, all our friends have been on this episode. I think everyone knows who you are.
I don't think it's hard to find me.
He's a man, and he's there.
I'm here.
So yeah. Yeah. I was telling my friend he should start getting into disc golf because he's, recently moved up there, and I was like, it might be a good, avenue to meet some new people who are,
yeah, that's
out of a bar or something,
Yeah, like depending on the VFW, American Legion, if you're a vet, those are some cool places to find people. But I mean, if you're not into the bar scene, that gets old.
Mm-hmm.
And also it is kind of hard to find somebody that you have something in common with. So if you find a hobby, go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Join a league of some sort, like a disc golf league or a golf league or a bowling league or running league. There's running leagues out there too that you can join, I believe. I don't know. There's running events that you can do and find people. Find people. And you can when you find that common ground with somebody, that's where you can start. Don't worry about politics.
Really opens up a lot.
Don't worry about politics. Don't worry about who you're voting for. Don't worry about all of that. Just try and find some people that
you save that for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Just find some people that you enjoy being around. And then you can go from there. Then if your morals don't align or whatever, then that's what it is. Right?
You move on.
But you can go from there. Usually if you find a hobby with some people, you have a lot in common.
I think, yeah, usually, right? It
Right.
segues into other areas of your life.
I feel like a lot of
lifestyle.
people that I bowl with, we're a little bit like-minded.
Mhm.
And for the most part in this country, we are like-minded. There's a couple discrepancies, but you go from that. And if it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. But if it's not, move forward.
What I've noticed is that Americans' commonalities will often overshadow those differences or divisions to the point where it won't matter that the division's there because the commonality is so strong, right? And that's what the whole point of being United States of America is.
Right.
Is that to set aside some of the differences that can be, because there are a lot of things that we all really like together.
Well, this country was built on an idea, not just
An idea,
just
not a
it just
person.
didn't happen. It's built on an idea. It's built on freedom, built on being able to say whatever you want, being able to defend yourself, and so on, and being able to defend yourself against a tyrannical government. So for the most part, I would say 99% of Americans, maybe 90, maybe there's some 10% communists, whatever.
Well, yeah,
But
a statist wouldn't, a statist uses
But-
the government to their advantage.
they do. So, but anyways, statists are gross, bootlickers. Don't tread on me, doggy. Hey,
That's right.
got
Don't.
my whiskey. Still got the whiskey rebellion flag. Hey, taxation's theft. For anybody who's wondering, for anybody that had some concerns on what we stood for, we want to tar and feather those that do not represent where our money goes.
Well, oftentimes they'll have positions publicly that are the antithesis of America and what it stands for, and even oftentimes in violation of federal statutes.
Yes.
And that's an issue. And so you and I have a right to say, I'm going to defend myself from you, XYZ, who openly stated you're coming to stifle my rights. Like people often say certain things about when they're in power about we're going to need to control you because I can't control myself, so we're going to have to control you. That's what it really comes down to.
And that's
our
wild.
whole society is based upon protecting the dumbest. And so when you are smart and you can police yourself, you are then the one who is now being attacked by government because you're not begging government to hold your hand through life.
Yeah, think about if we actually held people accountable.
Eric Holder would be in jail.
Exactly.
Instead, he's talking to Harris and trying to get into some position in government again.
I mean, they're
Like, how old is
all
this guy? I'm gonna look it up.
yeah. He was so if anybody's wondering, Eric Holder was a guy
Oh.
during Obama's administration that had the what was it called? Fast and Furious scandal.
Gun running program.
Yeah. So guns were given to the cartel.
So, Scott, it's worse than that. ATF agents would go to these gun shops in Phoenix and pressure them to sell them large amounts of guns. And then they took those guns and put them to Mexico so then they could blame these dealers in America for sending guns down. But then what happened was, I'll have to look it up. What happened was some Americans got killed by these guns and they traced them back to the ATF.
Yeah, I think there's two Border Patrol agents that were killed.
Mm-hmm. By one of these AR-15s that they were saying was a straw purchase, and it was a straw purchase by the government.
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to read as fast as I can. I missed it. So 150 Mexican civilians were maimed and killed.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just the Border Patrol agents.
I think it was Brian Terry. Well, I think it was Brian Terry that got killed.
710 were recovered as of 2012. So the ATF monitored the sale of about 2,000 firearms, and only 710 were recovered. So over about 1,300, 1,290 guns are unaccounted for.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a bit. That's enough.
They say even one.
Think about,
many.
yeah, exactly. Think about the amount of guns that we had in our brigade when we went to Iraq. It was probably around that. So 10th Mountain Brigade, 10th Mountain, 4th Division, 10th Mountain,
yeah,
4th Brigade. I can't talk. I can't think. I can't count today. I don't know. But anyways,
too many
10th
numbers.
Mountain, 4th Brigade. Anyways,
What you looking for?
about 1,200 M4s, which is the M16, which is the AR-15, whatever you want to call it. Same gun, same platform.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says in the comments. They're all the same thing.
They're all the same thing.
And I have a
Just
big book to prove it, honestly. It's
one
the
is the
TM manual
3-round
from the United States Army, and it has a description of all of them. They're all the same thing.
One is a 3-round burst. Ours, the civilian make, is semi-automatic. You can only shoot one at a time. As fast as your finger can go, that's as fast as the bullet comes out. Not very accurate when you do that. It's a lot more accurate if you're slow and steady. Just to let you know, if you're shooting target practice, this is all for training purposes.
That's right. You better be doing your quarter drills, buddy.
This is educational purposes.
Yeah.
Only. Don't take us off of YouTube, please. Dorks. Already took us off of Facebook and Instagram for 90 days.
Oh.
We're getting our live account back next month.
That's what you say.
Yeah, until I make
remember what I said? Don't boast about tomorrow.
Oh, stop it. Foreshadowing.
Oh, no.
I hate you.
So, there is something I wanted to bring up. It'll be short. There's always comments. I always see comments on like building stuff or opinions about how shoddy American homes are. I just need to raise this little fact.
They don't have AC.
I looked it up, and there's And there's over 100 million single family homes here in the United States alone. There's only 83 million people in Germany. We have more
100
single family homes than there is the population of Germany. So I don't know. I
Well,
think we know how to
Germany
build a
is
house
smaller.
here.
Well, Germany is smaller than Texas.
Yeah. I was just using it as an example.
Yeah. It is smaller.
And
So the point
actually-
from San Antonio to Dallas takes like almost 8 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Scott, when we drove from California to Texas to see my aunt for Thanksgiving, we went from California all the way to El Paso, and then it took us a whole day to go from El Paso to San Antonio. Yeah.
Bro,
the B is
Texas
big.
is, and half of it's Texas. That whole half of the drive is Texas.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a solid 9 hours of just Texas, and we were in the middle.
Middle south.
And it's funny,
not middle straight line.
No.
Dude, Texas is forever. I felt like driving from Louisiana to Arizona. Three-quarters of that drive was Texas.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, well, the truck overheated in Austin, so
That's not very far into it.
it's not. Well, it was third of the way.
Yeah, if I'm a rule that as like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe
a quarter of the way. My dad had to come pick me up. He had to bring his truck because I was trying to tow the truck with my Jeep.
Oh, I remember that.
With my Jeep Wrangler. No, I couldn't go over 40 without the trailer hopping.
Oh, it wasn't balanced right, huh?
Oh, it was bad. The truck was too heavy.
Now you never have to worry about that because your truck's a beast.
My truck is a beast. I do love my Dodge Ram 2500. It's very nice.
Been pretty good. Nothing wrong with it, huh?
It's got an oil leak, but it's manageable. Yeah, it's got front cover gasket leak. So it's a lengthy repair.
You got to take all the pulleys off to get to it.
Yep. Got to almost take off the whole front end.
Can you reach any of the screws to try and tighten them up?
I might do that this weekend. I might look at it.
I know the Honda I bought for $600 had an oil leak, and it was actually just a plastic plug on the side of the block, where on previous generations that had a distributor would have gone, and there was an O-ring in there that was just rotted out. So I slapped a new one in, pressure washed the engine, and it's dry as a bone. And that thing is getting 27.5 miles to the gallon, so it's very happy.
27? That's pretty good.
It has gotten 28 at one point.
Damn.
So
that's nice.
I did notice
this economy. That's huge.
It did suffer a little coming back from New Mexico because the hills and stuff, and it's only a 4-banger, so I did have to go to fourth gear a couple times.
Have you been taking the family in that?
Much to the child's chagrin, yes, because it's a 2-door. Yeah.
Get in there, son.
So the problem is there's no
seat
tint
down,
on it.
throw the sun in.
And so that's the issue.
Oh, you gotta tint it up. Why aren't you tinting it up?
I tinted some of the windows, but
does it have subwoofers in it? It's got to have subwoofers in it. At least it has to have 210s.
That's the one thing that doesn't work is the radio. I gotta get into that a little more. I think
that's a whole thing. When you have a Honda Civic, you got to be bumping.
Well, so if I can't bump, then I just gotta rev it, and I'll just downshift all day.
I mean, that's cool too.
I'm gonna cut the muffler off tomorrow just for you.
You should cut the muffler off.
Okay, I probably won't.
Get rid of the cat. Just saw that cat off. Somebody stole it. I don't know.
Well, so it's a 4-banger, and it's got the cat inside the exhaust manifold. You know.
Well, that's not cool.
That's got to stay, I think.
What was it in California when it was made? It sounds like a real California modification.
Don't know.
To keep you from freedom.
I think it was a 49 state model.
Damn.
That's just how some of those four bangers are. They put the cat as close as possible
Well,
so it can stay nice and hot.
well, yeah, and I feel like they probably just make them all the same to California standards, so then they don't have
They
to spend
generally
extra
do.
money in changing, because you gotta change the whole like body mold if you're gonna put it somewhere else.
It's a lot of things too. You have to redo testing for certain things, right? Because the tests would have to be different. Your crash test would be different.
Yeah,
Your environmental standards and tests would be different. And I was told that my company a long time ago when I was going through training with one of the face plates, it's got this thing on there that it's pointless, right? But to re-engineer it, to remove it, would cost them so much money. They just leave it in there and
yeah.
it does nothing.
Sounds dumb, but yeah,
Hey, if it works and it ain't broke,
that's
we
true.
don't fix it.
And if it's leaking oil, then you know it has oil.
And it's asphalt replenishment.
That's what I'm doing with my driveway at the moment.
Your seal coating.
Yes, I drip and then I take a broom and then just smooth it out.
You ever watched those videos? Parking lot? Them just
Mm-mm.
smearing asphalt all over the place?
Oh yeah. I've seen that. That's some satisfying stuff.
That's the content we all need. That and pressure washing videos.
Have you ever watched a guy mowing a lawn?
Yeah, it's what is it? Let's see here.
There's a couple guys out there that mow lawns. They'll weed eat and everything, and I'm like, they'll beautify
I don't
want to
get it wrong.
that nobody lives in. They're like,
think
hey, we noticed this this boarded up house here. How would you like your neighbor to have a? How would you like this house to have a beautiful lawn? And they're like, oh yeah, go for it.
One of the pages, one of the lawn care pages that I've watched is Copper Creek Cuts, and he has segued into doing trash service. So
Oh, dope.
he's got a little trash company he started.
Yeah, Wagnon was thinking about starting a podcast of. He was going to do a podcast while he's on the trash truck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, you're gonna have
You
to
just
give me his
talk to
contact
yourself.
information later.
He's on Facebook. Oh, Wagnon.
I'll have to find him. I don't usually. I don't go on there.
Oh, Cody.
Yeah. No, he's still in Oklahoma or something.
Yeah. He was struggling there for a little bit, I guess, but now I think he's doing fine. I don't know. It seems like a little
We're gonna have to
wavy,
check in.
but yeah, we do.
Old Wagnon and I were on extra duty together for a long time.
Right.
We cut some lawns together.
Cut some lawns.
Push mowers.
Cut some lawns. The 94th. The 94th lawns.
Still up to our old habits.
Hey,
grass.
so bad news.
What happened?
I've got terrible news. I've got 3 lawnmowers. Only one works right now.
Which one?
So,
The riding?
no, the electric actually works.
Because it's not gas.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, the push mower is belt assisted, and the belt broke. And the
I
belt
do like that feature.
The belt broke because the protective cover for the belt and that pulley was broken by a walnut.
Dang. Launched right into it, huh?
Yeah, launched right into it. And this time, something got in between the belt and the pulley. Probably a lot of grass, because now that protective cover, it's fully open. Probably a lot of grass got into it, made the belt slip, broke it. And the riding lawnmower I bought for $500. It's got a grinding sound in the rear end. It sounds terrible. But put on headphones and get after it. You're fine.
Have you checked the oil?
Replace
in the diff?
oil's fine. Yeah, oil's fine. Actually, I did not. But I changed the mechanical fuel pump and I changed the carburetor. And then I went to go start it. The battery's dead. So I got to jump it. Hopefully the battery's still
Always.
good. See if it runs. But it's got a flat tire. So it never ends. So I was thinking about just chucking it and buying another one for
Oh,
$1,000. No, this one it's done. I
think so?
think it's done. Yeah, it's in rough shape. So I was just gonna get one that I know is reliable at the moment, and then fix it from there. Start fresh. Sometimes you just gotta start fresh.
And you paid $500 for it. You probably get some good money for it. Still, someone will buy it, fix it up, right? The chassis is all
Maybe.
there. The engine's there, right? So
I was just gonna give it away for free.
you make someone very happy.
I bet. I'll be like, hey, for free. It's got a flat tire and it doesn't start.
I
You
had
figure it out.
I had a Cub Cadet push mower here, and I was like, why do I have this thing? I got rocks, and I was trying to sell it, and then someone asked me, I want to fix it up with my kid, and then I just gave
It's
it to
pretty
him.
dope.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
only
I
looking
mean,
like $40 for it or something, but still.
Yeah, if Emma's older, I'd probably be more willing to get after it. Teach her, beautify it, repaint it, do all the fun. Actually, you know what? No, it's gotta. I've looked up the symptoms of what's
Hmm.
going on with it, and pretty much everybody says that it's on its last leg. So, from all the forums
Yeah.
that I've been on for it,
They said
So.
that about that Honda I bought, and it was just a dirty air filter.
Damn. How
Well,
dirty was it?
it's more than that, though. It was like some motor mount changed and a couple other little things.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Which, if
talked
you
about
can't
that.
change a motor mount yourself, you're paying quite a bit to have someone else do it.
You are, and that's the whole thing about this front cover gasket on the Dodge. Is if I pay somebody else to do it, it's going to be probably around $4 to $5 grand.
Yeah.
So I don't want to pay that.
That's how I felt when I did the timing belt in my Dodge Journey. 8 hours of
Ooh.
pain to save me a lot of money.
I mean, 8 hours isn't a lot. I'm just worried about the truck being down for like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I did this in the parking lot of the
Yeah.
rental house that we had, and so I had to do
Right.
it.
Yeah,
There was
right.
there was no getting it wrong.
You had to get it done by the end of the weekend,
And
or else the apartment people were gonna have some issues.
and it was a interference engine, so I only had one chance to get it right.
But you got it right.
I did. It started and it ran perfect. But now I have to do it all again because I have the Sequoia and it's at 212,000 miles and it needs a timing belt now. So, do I roll the dice?
Nice.
Like I feel the same way. I don't really want to do it, but I also don't want to spend $3 grand to have someone else do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Just what it takes.
it's all about means. If you got the means, I mean, if you got the know-how, might as well do it. I have the know-how. I should do it. I have all the manuals for it. I have the manual for it, so it doesn't. I should do it, but I might do it during the winter. Although it's really nice right now, I probably should
It'd
do
be
it
too
now.
cold. You shouldn't do it in the winter.
I probably should do it after I get back from the retreat.
Tomorrow
'Cause I was
morning.
gonna do the oil change either Sunday or sometime during the week.
Mm-hmm.
That way, it's nice and fresh on the drive.
Yeah.
Got all the parts for it. Got all the oil for it. Let's go.
Oh,
Got all the new fuel filters are gonna go in there. Woo-wee.
it runs so much better. I feel like it runs so much better.
Ah,
Fresh
oh.
oil. It's just so much happier.
I love
Look
my
at it.
truck.
He's getting it.
I love my truck.
All right. Should we do some memes?
Did you get them?
They are on there. We have them.
Oh no. How long we in? We're 50 minutes in. Hey, I wanted to talk about some discipline. Let's talk about some discipline real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick. I have a video.
Do it.
I have a video
Okay.
that I want to share.
Do I ever feel like Sisyphus? Yeah. Of course I do. I've been waiting for people to start saying, like, oh, you put another picture of the sweat and of a squat rack. Really? But I don't know if they understand. I've been getting on that squat rack and grinding it out for 25 years. And I'm not bored with it yet. It might seem like that's an unwinnable battle, but really to me, it's not about winning. It's the battle itself. It's the struggle. It's the daily test. That's what life's about. Not just physically, but mentally. Getting that rock to the top of the mountain. That's not what my goal is. My goal actually is pushing the rock. Because pushing the rock, that pushes me. That makes me tougher. That makes me harder, mentally and physically. It gives me much more than I give it. I want to struggle. I want to grind and claw and scratch, and I want to dig in, and I want to push. And I don't want it to end. If I ever got the rock to the top of the mountain and it stayed there, I'd push it back down myself. I don't want to rest, and I don't want to coast, and I don't want to reach a point in my life where I say, that's it. I've done enough. I'm not going to give anymore. I'm not going to push anymore. No. That relentless cycle of day-to-day challenges, they aren't maddening to me. They don't frustrate me. They inspire me. Inspire me to drive and push more and to push harder. That's what that rock does to me. So I say, dig in and get to pushing.
Ooh, does that
It's
make
true.
you want to run through a brick wall?
Makes me want to go to the gym after this.
Right. It makes me want to get a nice little pump in the garage. I mean,
But it's true. You're the only person that has the discipline to push yourself, right? Like, because I'm not, with you all the time, right? We have to master
Right.
ourselves. Got to
Right.
push ourselves.
Right. Yeah. I don't have anybody else that I work out with in my garage. Julia works out in the mornings after I leave for work. And then I get home, hang out with Emma for a couple hours, and then I'm in the garage. Right. And so, yeah, I'm trying to get Julia's dad into working out with me.
Oh, nice.
I was really talking to him about it. I was like, let's do 2 times a week. And he's like, well, I do a bunch of hiking. I walk the dogs, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, you do that 4 days out of the week or 5 days out of the week or whatever. And you come work out with me 2 days out of the week. We'll hit squats both days, but we'll hit 2 different major muscle groups or a couple muscle groups for those 2 days. So if we do chest and back, then we can do shoulders and arms on the other day. And then I can fill in. I can figure out the rest and work out the rest of my regiment for the rest of the week.
Julia's dad.
Yeah,
That's
Julia's
cool.
dad. My father,
Let's
my
do it.
father-in-law, my father-in-law. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Super awesome. I couldn't ask for a better father-in-law. I really couldn't. Super, super awesome, down to earth, dude. Down to earth.
That's why you
But the
you
thing
two would
is,
have so much fun in there.
right. I keep trying to talk him into it. I think he is, because I talk about squatting every day. I talk about how much I'm squatting, blah blah blah. I'm not going to overwhelm him. I've been a personal trainer for a short stint. I feel like I know how to at least get somebody started without hurting them,
Yeah.
without breaking them. You don't want to break a person.
You don't want your legs to be jelly for 6 days straight the first time.
No. You don't want to break a person. You want to get in there, get acclimated, get comfortable. It's like I remember doing the P90X, that DVD that was put out, right? And I remember trying to go 100% on the P90X. The first time, I was sore for the whole week. Like, I didn't want to go back to it. But if you
turn yourself off.
If you take a step back and you only do like a third of it, and then the next week you do a third, like the first month you do a third of it, then the next month that third becomes easier, and then you push forward to do and a half of the workouts, right? Half of the quantity of each exercise that they do, right? And then you just keep moving on. You just keep moving up until after a year, you're doing 100%. But if you don't do that in a year, you're not doing 100%.
It's got to be consistent.
If you break yourself off too early, you're not going to get there. And that goes with
you
a
run
lot
the risk
things.
of injury too, honestly.
You do, but mostly it's just soreness. People don't want to get past the soreness, and that is fully understandable.
See, I'm broken. I like being sore, and sometimes I'm like, that means I need to go back to the gym the next day and work it out.
Well, that soreness you are used to because you do work out. But like, let's say if you don't exercise your calves for a whole year,
I have a perfect example.
You go heavy.
When I first started doing all these deadlifts, and I don't use straps, my forearms were in pain, and it was painful, and it was deep. It was deep in my arms, and that did go away. Like my forearms they don't get sore anymore, and I can do 315 with no straps.
With no straps.
So, but I do the reverse.
Yeah, I got some tendonitis in my elbow and some dexterity issues in my right hand from wrenching. Punching stuff on accident, not on purpose, on accident, has messed up the knuckles a little bit and my middle finger. I don't have the dexterity anymore.
Just doing all those fuel pumps in Iraq.
Dude, there was a bolt,
the injector
I think, on a radiator that I was working on a Humvee. I can't remember which one it was, but I remember punching the crap out of the frame. It was Christmas Day in Iraq. So it was snowing that day. I remember everything. We were at Rustamaya. It was snowing. It was cold. We were in the motor pool, and I remember it let loose. The bolt let loose, and I tagged the frame just about as hard as you could, or the bumper. It was either the bumper or the frame. Probably the bumper. So I punched it as hard as I could, without trying.
And the audience heard that right. It was snowing.
It was snowing in Iraq.
In Baghdad.
On Christmas. On Christmas.
I was at cop Cobra, and someone said it was snowing. And I remember looking through the sandbags, and I was like, okay, and I went back to bed, not really
Like, oh,
understanding that it snowed for the first time in like 110 years.
yeah. You're like, oh, cool, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to live in America.
Yeah, I just came from Maine. Sorry, I don't want to see snow.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
really,
players.
it was basic training scarred me. You know, it was eight weeks of snow.
Yeah, for Fort Knox was a bit rough. I remember not feeling the bottom of my feet for about 10 months after that. After the land nav.
Oh,
I
really?
couldn't
I
feel.
survived.
Yeah,
one
I
nap.
couldn't feel the bottom of my feet. I was wearing the right boots too.
Yeah.
I was wearing the snow boots, the cold weather boots that we had.
No, they told you
Now
not to
there
wear those.
was
That might have been your problem.
the cold weather boots.
Yeah, because they'd make your feet sweat, and then at night they were gonna freeze, and that's why they told everyone not to wear their cold weather boots.
Well, there was one guy that wore the desert boots and he got frostbite.
You got. I think you have it backwards.
Mm-mm.
I would like the experts in the comments to let us know land nav regulation rules. But
Yeah,
I'm
did
almost
you
certain.
wear?
Yeah, because we didn't
There's
wear
no
jackets
way.
or anything.
Nah, yeah, I don't remember wearing a jacket.
And so that's what
I
I remember them
remember
telling
wearing a
us is that you
regular
don't want
uniform.
your feet to be warm and sweating all day because once night hits and you're back out here at night, you're going to have blocks of ice on your feet.
Hmm.
So
Felt like, yeah.
those warm weather boots
Definitely.
were pretty warm.
They were. Well, they insulated pretty good. I feel like you wouldn't have gotten. I don't know.
I think the issue is
I
the
don't really remember.
water.
It was, how long ago was it? I'm
Man.
36. I was 19, 17 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. I remember it all.
Yeah.
Every
I remember
day.
I was the pace counter.
Oh, that's good.
I
I
was
think
the-
I was too, honestly.
Yeah. I was the pathfinder of the bunch. I set the pace 63
That
steps
was tough because
per
you had
100
different minds
meters.
working against each other.
I think it was 63 steps per 100 meters. That doesn't sound right.
I have no idea. I would have to look at my
I
notes.
feel like one step would be just about a yard. So it should be 1-to-1 ratio. Or
So I
1
think
to
you're supposed to
100
do an
ratio.
average, and then you just average it out. You
I was
take the
around
next average.
63 or 68, somewhere in there. I had it calculated to about 10 meters.
It was interesting how accurate it could be, right?
Yeah. I was pretty close at finding our spots. Now, I did rely on the other people to figure out the direction.
Right. It was a
'Cause
team effort.
It was a team effort.
You had the
And
map
at
man.
that time of basic training, it was all of the previous platoon sergeants. So I believe I was one at one point, unfortunately. So it was all the platoon sergeants in one squad. And then all of the dorks were in their own little squads. So you had like the A team. So I was with the A team. So we crushed it. I was with the smart dudes.
All I know is I wasn't first and I wasn't last.
Never be last. Well, if you're second, you're last. Might as well be. I don't know. I don't know who was first. I don't know anything. I just know that we completed it and
Wasn't
that
me.
we crushed it. That we didn't get lost. We never got lost.
That was, yeah, the main,
never
main
got
factor
lost.
there, huh?
And then we heard that one guy that got frostbite got lost.
He went to the hospital.
He did go to the hospital. Yeah, because he got frostbite.
It was not looking good.
They had to go find him.
His boot was frozen, I think. Like it was frozen.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
it
stepped
was
in a creek or something, maybe. I don't know.
I remember his face. I don't remember his name. Remember his face.
I remember there's this obstacle course, right? And in the obstacle course, there's an obstacle, and they all have names. One was named the Weaver, and Weaver fell off of the Weaver onto his Weavers.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. What are the odds?
So was the Weaver the one with the logs that you had to go over, under, over, under, over, under?
I think it was like this A-frame thing, and yeah, it had these logs that you had to like weave in and out, and then go
Yeah.
up and back down.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
had a drill sergeant in my platoon that was he 4'9", 4'10", maybe?
Mm.
Dude, he went through it like it was nothing.
Didn't even hit the bend.
He was a short dude. I think he was airborne. He was everything. He had Pathfinder. He had
He was one of
air
those.
assault. This dude was nuts, and he was probably the shortest dude I've ever seen in the Army. And he was flying on the obstacle course. I didn't understand it, but then I kind of thought about, man, if I was 12, I could probably do this because you could just whoop 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 whoop.
I loved all those obstacles. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Just like playtime.
I wish I would have thought about it that way. I guess I had a different mindset at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. You kind of go back sometimes and wish you had a different mindset. Like I was hua at the time. Like I was all gung ho, all about the Army, all about being all that you could be.
How can you not? You were part of the biggest gang in the world.
Right.
That's what they told us.
Right.
That was.
I mean, it was cool.
That was the Army said that. Okay.
Dude, wearing that uniform with your name on it was something else. Having your last name, your legacy, your family's legacy on your uniform. That's what I felt like sets veterans apart from the rest of the people. Is that having your legacy on your uniform. Your last name. Being proud of your last name. Being proud of your family heritage. I feel like that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's huge. And on that note,
We harvesting?
yeah, we're harvesting memes now.
I can put it
It's a bad segue, but
we need to get a sound. We need to put some sound to that.
what?
I'll work on that. Yeah.
Get the who. Maybe we can ask Dan to hit something for us. Maybe
For
some deep bass.
deep
Since he
bass.
some cello making music.
Well, now he's not going to do it. You used the word cello.
Oh, darn it.
Dan the cello man.
Dan the cello man. I love him. I do. Anyways,
Yeah,
we're
give him a kiss
harvesting.
for me
Bring that image back up.
then. What?
I lost it.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Where?
Wait, was that the image you were looking at?
Which one? This one?
Yeah, I know those.
Hey, we're harvesting memes today. Actually, we harvest them. So let's start off with this one. The first guy to discover milk probably did a lot of other weird stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta think about it. You just gotta think about it. Milk comes from a cow.
Well, they probably saw those calves and were like, whoa, what are they doing over there?
Yeah. It's probably a tasty beverage. I don't know. But it's probably weird at the time. The guy was probably like, hear me out. Hear me out. What if we drank the milk?
Yeah.
This is
And
like
it's
before
already here.
it's already here. The cow makes it.
It's automatic.
And it has a surplus. Like it already has too much for the cow.
It's true. You've got to relieve it.
Yeah. Got to help it out. All right. Waltz faces court martial for vettering while Democrat.
Yeah.
So There's some scandalous or whatever you want to say. He altered his military records to
He's a big
say that he
liar.
was a command sergeant major. He didn't retire as a command sergeant major. He retired as a master sergeant. He
said
didn't
he
deploy.
deployed.
Well,
Right,
he
but
went to Italy
it's
in
not a deployment,
support.
okay?
It's
No.
not.
That's going to Korea is more of a deployment because they're technically at war.
Well, they are right next to the border of North Korea.
Scott, they've signed there's been no peace treaty between the Koreas. So when you go to Korea, you're technically in a war zone. When you go to Italy, you're just in a nice part of Europe.
You really are. I've traveled to Italy as a 12-year-old.
Man,
I've gone to
nice.
Italy.
Pretty nice.
Dude, Italy's beautiful. I've been to Pisa and I've been to Venice
I knew
and
a guy from
Milan.
high school that
Been to
got
Milan.
stationed there in the Air Force.
Oh, to Vincenza?
I'll have to ask
I
him.
think
He
it's
was-
Army.
He was security forces, and he was in Italy for a while, I think.
Right on.
He bought an Audi when he
Right.
was there.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the place to buy it.
He had it shipped back.
Wait, Audi's German. He should have bought it in Germany.
Well, you know, you do the whole tour there. You can.
Italy is not far from Germany. It is a quick, I think, a 5-hour drive. If that,
Wow.
depending on where you're at.
I drive
Everything
5
is
hours.
so
I'm
close.
still in Arizona.
I've driven to France. It is super close. We've gone from Germany to France. And then we went to Paris. I was not a big fan of Paris. It smelled and it was dirty.
It was a big city, huh?
A big city. It smelled like
Big city.
it smelled like poo-poo. So
That
anyways,
sucks.
raccoons are saddle-breaking feral hogs and riding them into battle against opossums. The media probably won't cover this. They probably won't. The raccoons are taking over, people. The raccoons are taking over. They're completely feral. They are taking over the hogs. They're smarter than the hogs. They can use their fingers to grab onto the fur of the hogs and take back what's theirs.
Something's gonna break.
The raccoons are in charge. Raccoons are in charge. What do you think the raccoon on a hog is going to bring his more raccoon friends?
Yeah, that's
they're
battle
gonna-
hardened.
They're going to eat whatever's there. Whatever scraps are there. It's done for. The nighttime is the raccoon
Man, I
time.
don't know. Possums are pretty fierce, though. I'd be
They play
interested to
dead,
see
too.
this go down.
They play dead under threat. You can't fight a raccoon.
You can't sleep on either one.
Raccoons are too smart, son. They go through doggy doors to get into your house. They get in there. They find ways. They have critical
I'm
they
all
have
with that.
critical thinking skills.
Better than most humans.
I mean, for sure. All right, next one. All right, so the Democrats are suing Jill Stein and RFK for ballot access. So this is the VP for RFK. I'm sorry it's happening to you too, Jill. Amazing how convincing Michelle Obama is when she lies. Blah, blah, blah. So they're trying to get Jill Stein off of the Wisconsin ballot because the Green Party doesn't have a legislator in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin law is that you can't have a presidential candidate if there's no party legislator within the Senate, within the state Senate.
Seems like
or
it'd be
anything.
easier. State law.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Does it seems like it would be easier to have a legislator in the legislature change the state law than to do whatever she's doing?
Well, yeah. Well, they can't do anything because there's no Green Party representative. So right now
I
the
don't know anything
Democrats are
about
suing.
whatever state that is.
Yeah. Wisconsin has an interesting rule,
Some issues.
law,
It's
or whatever it
very
is.
unique.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So No matter
It
how
sounds like a
many,
scam to keep people off. Right.
it really is. No matter how many petitions, no matter how much money you have, you can't get on ballot access if you don't have representation in the Senate, the state Senate, House of Representatives, or a senator being in your party.
Yeah.
So, and they're also suing. Let's see if I can find it right here. No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, I must have forgot to put it. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back to that. So RFK is being sued in Pennsylvania, and so RFK is being sued in Pennsylvania and in New York for having ballot access. The Democrats are suing. The Republic. I haven't done the research on this, but I don't think the Republicans are suing.
No, it's
I
the
don't think
Democrat
they're
National Committee.
right. And so
I don't
they're
know why any of
suing.
this is a surprise. Look at what they did to Bernie Sanders. They stole it from Bernie Sanders. He would have easily beat Hillary Clinton in the primary, and then they did it again with Joe Biden. They kept his dead ass
Yep.
corpse in the office, and then they just put Harris, who had 0 electoral or delegate votes or whatever in 2020. She was the least popular out of any Democrat, and then they just put him in there. So
Yep.
it's insane.
It is insane. Like
There's no democracy there.
they already had votes for Biden in their delegates. They already have voted previously. What was it, like 3 or 4 months ago? They've already voted Biden to be in the next presidential nominee. And
Yeah,
then,
but that wasn't. There's like this whole formality of them going through at the convention. Like that's the only time it matters.
which is wild.
Yeah. Well, and but
Well, they should have had their convention earlier.
so there's
That's
also
the
an
thing.
issue with.
So they timed it. I feel like they timed it in a way. They timed the debate because
Yeah, well, they blew it off too early, or the honeymoon's over.
yeah,
See, you're not going to take someone who was irrelevant completely and elevate them to some stature that they're popular, well liked, well versed, smart, capable. None of those things describe this person. They never have in her entire existence.
well, she's very good at reading a teleprompter because I listened to her whole spiel on the DNC, Kamala's speech. She was very articulate. Now it didn't.
She's
It-
reading off of a teleprompter. That's not
There's
her.
no
She didn't write that.
there's no substance to it, but she was very
She's not
articulate
articulate.
and put well from the teleprompter.
She's just reading words off of a teleprompter. Anyone can do that.
I know. She practiced it and got through it. But she hasn't taken any interviews. She doesn't take any questions from reporters. They're hiding her just like they did Biden in 2020.
Because they know they can. They know it's already in the bag.
It's crazy. It's crazy how corrupt. Now, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is not corrupt because they are too.
Scott,
But the Democrat Party is corrupt tenfold.
I don't even know how you or I can get involved in this process because I had an email from the Arizona Republicans and it was about the convention. This was months ago. And
Yeah.
the amount of money I would have had to pay to send myself there to then be a delegate was astronomical. So the
Yeah.
only people who are part of this are retirees, people with extra money. It's not you or I. It's not someone working at McDonald's. You know, it's a
Well,
club
Chris-
and we are all outside of it.
So Chris Cuomo, he used to be the primetime spot on CNN. He was talking about the arena that they were in for the DNC in Chicago. So at the United Center, they were saying the upper bowls, the suites, were over $1 million.
It's just money laundering.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's
Politics
just like
is money laundering. What do you
Yeah,
think
it's
all
just
these
like-
donations to Act Blue are? It's all money laundering.
it's just getting pushed through. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't think it's gonna fix until it breaks itself.
I can't wait for that, to be honest.
Don't
And
wait,
I
you've
feel
been
like
waiting your
it's
whole life like everyone else has before you.
yeah, I know. It's like every generation is like, yeah, this is the time that communism is gonna take hold. Anyways, so let's move on.
Alright. What we got?
All right, Americans don't like being played for suckers. Let's put patience before unreasonable profits. These psychopaths think they're actually going to forget how they just tried to medically genocide everybody on the planet so they could cash their Pfizer checks. So, putting out a vaccine that wasn't proven, that they came out, lied, and said that it was going to stop transmission, that you couldn't get it, that you're going to save your grandma, that you're going to
government's
blah,
a
blah,
liar.
blah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I'm going to put it up again.
It's all it means to it.
Americans don't like being played for suckers. Yeah. Yeah. You're gaslighting
I don't want to
us.
see anything from that fucking brain dead geriatric bastard again.
You're
Why is
gaslighting
he still
us.
here? Why is he still in the White House? If he's so incompetent, he can't stand trial. The FBI won't prosecute him. The DOJ won't prosecute him because he's too old and senile and he can't remember anything. They won't release the interview they had with him, even though Congress has demanded it. The FBI is still withholding it. And why is he still here? I don't understand it. We are not in control of our government, and it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah, who's running it? Because it's obviously not Kamala.
She
It's
shouldn't be.
obviously
She's
not her.
vice president. She's not in charge of anything.
She
Vice president has no authority.
She was
That's
in
what people
charge
need
of
to
the border.
understand.
She
She's
was
not
in charge of the border.
anything, Scott. That's just a title that they made up.
I know.
There is
It's a title that they made up and then they took away at a
Yeah.
convenient moment.
The whole czar's position is a fake made up thing that Obama instituted. It's not a real thing. That's not a real governmental position.
Oh, I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just saying that's what they said. I'm just that she was put in charge of this.
She's as involved as Michelle Obama's lunch
but
program was.
but on day one, which is day whatever, the 5th year of her being in, she's number 2. She's number 2 in the country. You are vice president. President's number 1.
Yeah.
Vice president number 2. You should be able to do something, right?
Sometimes no.
Or not. I don't care.
Statutorily, she has no authority other than to be a placeholder in case the other one croaks.
Oh, and then they
know?
say that the federal government has control of the border. And then they get questioned during a press conference, and the speaker, or not the speaker, but the what's her name? Jean-Pierre. What's her title?
I don't know who that is.
Anyways, she's the one that talks to the press every day. She does the daily briefings.
Garrett Luce
Well,
used to
anyways.
call her this all the time. He used to call her the gay lesbian immigrant or whatever, because that's what she called herself.
Right. And we're just going by what she calls herself. So anyways, and then she goes, if you need to refer to the border, you need to then talk to the governor of Texas. All right, then the governor of Texas should be able to protect his border however he wants.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court said that those buoys that they put in the Rio Grande were legit, that they can keep those buoys. Those little rolling balls that had
It's all semantics. They're all in on it. Abbott's in on it. They're all in on it. They're all playing along with it, or else they would step up and do the right thing, and they still have failed to enforce the laws that are already on their books.
Yeah, Abbott would have already, if he had balls, he would have already seceded and would have taken control of his border. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it.
Somewhat.
He should have seceded, and he should have taken care of his border.
Everything is smoke and mirrors and a photo op because 4 feet from those buoys, it's wide open.
Yes. Yeah, that's the coast. That's the other side of the river.
All right. What else we got here?
All right. Honey, what do you want to be when you grow up? A threat to the New World Order. And that's what we're here for, folks. That is the purpose of our life, I guess. I don't know.
we need to have some type of control over our own lives, and we don't right now. Because they tell us inflation is only 20% or 15%, but yet when you check your receipts and compare it with the food costs from 4 years ago, it's 50 to 55%. We
Well,
are being
inflation's
misled at all levels.
down, but
No,
prices are
inflation's
up.
not down. Scott, they just removed 818,000 jobs from the jobs report.
They did. And then another million from the year previous.
And I've been saying this for 2 years. We've been in a recession. They've been cooking the books. They've been trying to limp it along, and it's not going to work out. That's the same. They haven't had that large of a revision since 2009. And what happened then? So we'll see.
Ugh, gross. They're just gross. All right, last one. You, the few people that react to my posts, you complete me. Thank you all for watching. We love you. Thanks for reacting to the memes on Instagram, on Facebook. If you've made it this long into the podcast, we truly love you. Thank you. Thank you for coming out, supporting us, listening to our nonsense.
To my rants.
We're not the smartest guys in the world. We don't claim to be, but we claim to be normal people, normal citizens fighting for a just cause.
I do claim to remember things that people have said to me, so when they turn around and the government then changes the ball here, it's frustrating because you telling me to my face you're my savior, but everything you've done is pretty much detrimental. So
it's the complete opposite. Whatever they're saying,
I can only observe what people are doing.
Whatever they're saying is a threat is a projection. They're projecting what they're actually doing. Read into it. Read into it. Listen to what they say. Everything that they're saying is what they're doing. Everything that they say that is attacking them, that's what they're actually doing. That's what they're actually doing.
So. Time will prove it and bear it true.
I hope so. I hope the history books figure all this out 20, 30 years from now. Because the stuff that my daughter is going to hear from me and the history books that she reads in the future are probably going to be a little different.
That's why it's important.
Just saying.
It's important.
Just saying. Like that's the way it was. And on that note,
we'll be catching you very soon.
Hey, subscribe, like, comment. We love you. Let us know what you think about the memes. Let us know what you think about working out, discipline, all that fun stuff.
Let us know how you get through it. Yeah.
And this is a dedication to Corey's uncle, Robert. Thank you, sir, for your service, for your dedication to this country. We love you. God rest your soul.
Appreciate that.